Hey folks, so Pax Pamir is a difficult game to get good at, and to be clear, being good at this game is not something I claim to be, but there are a few pitfalls that I've learned to avoid which are pretty easy to fall into on your first game. So with that in mind, here are my top 5 beginner strategy tips for Pax Pamir 2nd edition. So this might be the hardest of my suggestions, but it's also the most important. Developing a sense for just what is happening in the game will go a long way towards giving you the opportunity to actually affect the outcome. Now, there are a lot of things to keep in mind, but here are 3 specific questions that you should be asking yourself while playing. 1, is my coalition dominant? If so, great, what can I do to strengthen that? And if not, well, is there anything I can do to fix that anytime soon? 2, if my coalition isn't dominant, is there another one that is, or is at least very close to it? Because if so, it might be worth switching. And 3, if no coalition is going to be dominant before the next check, how can I put out the most cylinders before that happens? Now, yes, the narrative of this game is important, but it's all about scoring points in the end, and some points is better than no points. So anything you can do to climb that ladder is important. And to keep these 3 questions in mind, you'll be better prepared to spot the opportunities to do just that. Because you only have 2 actions per round, it might feel like you just can't get a lot done on your turn, and that's often true, but there is the potential for big swings. You just have to be prepared for them. I know it's tempting to just play the card you bought immediately after getting it, but when you do that, you often don't get a lot of value out of it, at least not right away. A sneaky betrayal or a well-timed loyalty swap can be a big game changer, so holding on to a good card, especially one that can get you out of a bad loyalty position, is often preferable to playing it as soon as you get it. If your strategy hinges on one specific card in your court, you're probably going to have a bad time. See, if you're paying attention to what other people are doing, you have to assume that they're doing the same thing to you. So if you play something good, it's probably going to target on its back. If you time things right, you should be able to get at least some usage out of the cards you play, but don't assume that they're going to stick around for the long haul. And besides other players killing your cards, you also need to be prepared to chuck them at a moment's notice, because sometimes it's just advantageous to switch things up. So don't get too precious with anything you put down, because their days are numbered. This ties into the previous tip, but specifically when it comes to bonus actions, you shouldn't try to build towards some big turn. This game might feel like an engine builder at times, but it's really not. And if you try to engineer a situation where your whole court will pop off in one turn, well, other players are going to notice that, and they're going to do everything they can to stop it from happening. Now sure, if they can't do that because there are just no cards in the market that change the favorite suit, then sure, go nuts. But as soon as one comes up, you gotta know that it's going to get played. Leveraged cards are great for a quick boost, but if you have more than 1 or 2 at the most, you put yourself in a very precarious position. It's okay to have no money if you've got cards, or no cards if you've got money, but if you don't have either, which can definitely happen if you overextend yourself and lose big, you're not going to be able to do anything for a few rounds, and it's going to suck. Whether you're making big plays or not, you're going to want to at least participate, so don't put yourself in the position where you could lose it all. And those are my top 5 beginner strategy tips, but I'll leave you with a bit of info that's just a little bit more advanced. The suits, coalitions, and regions in this game are not equally represented in the deck. I can't really speak to the balance of Pax Pamir, but if you like going into the nitty-gritty, I've included a few links in the description that are excellent resources for further strategic preparation. And the first one includes in-depth charts of the distribution of all of the cards. Very interesting if you've got a head for such figures. And of course, if you've got your own strategic advice, I would love to hear about it in the comments below. My viewers tend to be much more knowledgeable about the games that I cover than I am, so there's usually a few gems to be found in there. Either way, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!